Welcome, everybody. How are you doing today? It's so very nice to have you here. And today I wanted to speak a little bit about our upcoming 2-week intensive in December, on December 4th and 11th. Beyond the Mind, Finding Permanence in Emptiness and Love. We have been speaking over the past several months on topics of doership, are you the doer, is anybody doing it, on topics of karma, destiny and free will, and Sahaja Sthiti. And I want to continue with this in our 2-week intensive and bringing the focus a little bit more towards permanence, impermanence, because we're speaking about going beyond the mind. And habitually, we look for permanence, consciously or not. Are you aware of it or not? But we continuously look for permanence. We look for permanence in objects, in experiences, in people, even in our own body. Permanence, right? And how upsetting can be changes to your body, and also consciously or not. We don't really want to face the idea of the body not being permanent, the body having just a certain span of existence. And so because of that, when we speak about removing obstacles to awakening, we are speaking about becoming more aware and more conscious of this habit of looking for permanence in things, in objects, in experiences that are not permanent. And that's why I want to invite us into emptiness and love, once again into these two very powerful aspects of our true nature, or we could say of the awakened stage. When I know that I'm nothing, that's emptiness. When I know that I am everything, that is love. And between those two, my attention moves. And there will be several themes that I want to explore, speaking about how the world is the projection of our mind, speaking about the Turiya, the fourth stage, which is that in which everything exists, consciousness, presence, our true nature. And I also want to speak about something that you might have heard before, being in a world and yet not being of the world. What is the meaning of that? What does it mean, being in a world and yet not being of the world? In that spiritual journey, in that journey that takes us inward, away from the senses and mind and sensory experiences, we really are, and away from that reliance on objects, experiences for permanence, we really are letting go of our attachments. We really are letting go of the habits of finding a sense of identity or attachment in objects, in this body mind, in situations, in other people. And so that's the first step, first really so important step, to truly come to know our true nature, to truly come to rest in our true nature. We have to give up these attachments, because otherwise, we will be still holding out and believing that there is something, that we can hold on to, that we can build our identity around, instead of realizing, that all of it is impermanent. However, once we realize our true nature, or once we become aware of our true nature, we don't want to create a separation with the world. So we don't want to, sometimes that's a misunderstanding that people have. Once you realize your true nature, then some people think you have to remain separate from the world. And that's where this being in a world and yet not being of the world comes in. Because we can naturally, come and re-engage in the world. We don't have to, reject and deny and separate ourselves from the world, as this would be another level of separation that could potentially cause another level of suffering. Like identifying ourselves as any one particular object is really the source of suffering. And yet, being in the world and not being of the world, and yet our focus has shifted, our attention has changed. Now we are not looking for permanence in the world anymore. We are looking for permanence where permanence is, which is our true nature. So even though we are in the world and we are interacting and we are engaging in some way, and yet the foundation of our experience, the focus of our attention remains the same, and we always are willing to come back to knowing the true ground of our experience, which is our true nature. So I want to invite you very briefly right now. Most of all, I want to invite you to come and join me in this 2-week intensive, but very briefly right now, to really bring your attention here, to really shift the focus of your attention. Beautiful. And notice that which is already present. And which is permanent. And I often say that's where we can find rest and solace and support and answers to our questions. And it is that in which everything arises. And we can always come back here. So I'm looking forward to our time together, to solidifying that permanence in emptiness and love. And if you are enjoying these videos, please comment, and many of you have, thank you for that. Subscribe and share so that more people can benefit from this.